I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Sankey. I'm the Chief Business Officer here at Bittrex Global and the host of our video AMA, Ask Me Anything today. And we are featuring Wall Street Bets. And our guests today are Streeter Hull, co-founder, as well as Max Hirshik. And Max, I hope I pronounced that correctly. All right. So thank you guys both for joining us today. We're looking forward to the discussion.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Okay, so we've got a list of questions from our community and the broader crypto community that were submitted. So we got a list of stuff I want to run through with you guys around this AMA. And if there's anything that you want to talk about that we don't cover, do it. I'm sure the audience would love to hear about it. And if there's anything I get confused on, I'll try to ask as well, because that means somebody who's watching may also have the same question that I do. But before we get into that, our favorite thing to do, or my favorite question to ask here for everybody that comes on, is your origin story. So I'd love to hear from both of you on how you got into crypto, when you bought your first Bitcoin, and what led you guys to Wall Street Bets. That origin story is really fascinating.
Yeah, I think the first Bitcoin that I ever bought, I believe, was in 2014. I used to play poker for a living, so there was like a big Bitcoin community in the poker community, and they've always been like a very big supporter of Bitcoin, and it has a lot of use cases to send money to people overseas or wherever you want in a quick manner. And so that was like my introduction to Bitcoin, was through poker.
Nice. And yeah, actually my first introduction to crypto was I interviewed at Coinbase in 2013 and actually didn't get the job. And so took another tech job. That was a very expensive mistake. And there's a funny story behind why I didn't get the job, which you can go into another time. But then in 2016, started getting really into investing in crypto more than I had been before, and then decided to go full-time into the space.
Oh, fantastic. That's amazing. 2013 at Coinbase, that would have been the job.
Yeah, let's not go into that too much.
Yeah. I almost want to talk about that more than the AMA. Let's get back to my list here. So let's talk about Wall Street Bets. And can you tell us a little bit more about the creation of Wall Street Bets and the team that you guys have behind it now? Anything else you want to mention about from where you went to where you are?
Yeah, I remember it very well. It was January 28th of 2021 when Robinhood shut down trading for GME. And something about it just didn't sit well with me at all. Like, I just wasn't like okay with like a big corporation or company being able to like halt. Well, actually, they didn't even halt trading. That was the problem, is they halted buying, but they didn't halt selling, which obviously ensured that there would just be a big sell-off if you can't buy something and you can only sell it. And it just started making me like think about all these like bigger issues that we have in the country with the government controlling like too much wealth and the monetary policies and all of that. And so the idea that I had was that there needs to be a way for people to trade things without a governing body to oversee it, or someone that can like shut things down on a moment's notice. And so the only thing I could come up with was DeFi, because decentralized exchanges are run by a DAO, and it's not run by a individual or a person that can just shut down things on a moment's notice. And so on the 29th, I started looking into purchasing WallStreetBets.com, the domain name. The reason I chose that domain name is because the Wall Street Bets community just it had the same vision that I was thinking about, or that I was going for, and that's like being in control of your own money, not relying on other people, and not being able to have your platform shut down, which is the best thing about a DAO. is that no one person can shut down a decentralized exchange. So it pretty much happened through that. And yeah, that was where it came from.
And then looking forward over the next year or even beyond that, can you guys talk a little bit about what the plan is for Wall Street Bets and what your roadmap looks like?
Yeah, definitely. Before that too, just to go over a little bit more background of the team and how we all kind of launched it and everything. Streeter was actually an investor in the centralized exchange that our technical co-founder Todd, who's not here, we own another exchange, and we're getting more interested in decentralized exchanges. And it was really good timing because we already work with Streeter, and Streeter was looking to get launch WallStreetBets.com. And so Todd and I have come back from traditional startup ecosystem and launched a centralized exchange. And so it all made sense to kind of link up and build out WallStreetBets.com, the DEX. And then looking forward, there's a lot of exciting things we want to do. So right now, kind of where we're at with the DEX is it's a fork of Uniswap V2 with different liquidity pools and different rewards. We run on Ethereum and Polygon. We want to expand that to different chains as well. And we also want to add other liquidity pools, and especially with like-minded projects that are coming out to expand those liquidity pools. Also with that, we'll bring this up now. We're already in development with our own metaverse, and a little bit of difference that we have with other metaverse projects is one thing that you could do is you could actually go around in our metaverse and do the actions that you do on a DEX on our DEX. So you can actually go and things will be visualized where you can get different yield products in a really fun, engaging way, and also be able to link your NFTs to your metaverse character to show your NFTs. And one thing that we're really excited about with the NFT and DEX aspect is we're working to become the first DEX to be able to stake your NFTs to get better rewards. So it's almost like this club that you can get in with your NFTs that will actually get you better rewards on our exchange. Those are kind of some of the things in the next few years that we're excited to build out and are already in development.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Anything else you want to talk about related to the utility of today? I think I jumped to the future without talking about what's going on right now.
Yeah, well, one thing we're working on right now that I think is important to loop into the metaverse is we already own a 3x3 land in the sandbox, and we've already done the alpha phase 1 and phase 2 testing so that we can start to develop like what we want to build out for our sandbox metaverse. So we're going to have multiple metaverses where we're going to have one on the sandbox. We're going to have one of our own. I'm sure we'll have multiple other ones in the future. The goal is to have many different platforms that can fit many different users on what their end goal is or what experience they're looking for.
And I think we've got some specific questions now that we can dig into from our community members. So one of the ones I have here on my list in quotes is the following: DeFi is projected to buzz up in 2022. What roles does WSB play in the innovativeness of DeFi, and what are your thoughts on DeFi in general?
Actually, I think a really big thing in 2022 is from DeFi is going to come from NFT projects. And I think dual rewards is going to be a very big thing in 22. And when I mean dual rewards, I mean dual rewards for liquidity providing, meaning that instead of you liquidity providing and you only get rewards from one side of the pair, there's this new thing called dual rewards, where basically you make partnerships with another project and then you get rewards on both sides of the liquidity pair that you provide, and it ends up making you have a much higher yield. And that's like my goal for 2022 after we launch our NFTs, is to start making deals and partnerships with like multiple other NFT projects to start offering dual rewards in their native token and in WSB for liquidity providing.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the role that the WSB token, which trades on Bittrex Global, I got to do a little plug for Bittrex Global there, in your project, as well as some of the use cases in token economics? I know you guys have talked about this a little bit already, but what are the use cases? What's the utility value? Anything you want to mention around the token economics? And then here I have a question around specifically, what are the governance rights included in the token ownership?
Yeah, all great questions. So, yeah, for the governance rights, the token is a governance token, and with it, you can vote, you can propose different proposals to make either changes to the protocol with executable code, or be able to vote on what to use the DAO tokens for. So those are the primary governance rights that you have with the token. There's certain thresholds and other voting rules around it, but it's really designed to give the token holders of WSB full control over the protocol and the DAO. And really, like Streeter already mentioned, with this, this is to give our community. This token is to give our community power over the place that they trade on, which we thought was missing from Robinhood when we saw that whole debacle happen. So that's one aspect of it. This other aspect of the token is users can earn the token when they provide liquidity for certain trading pairs on the platform. So they actually get rewarded now in the WSB token for doing that liquidity providing. And what we see in the future and what we're trying to build towards too is to add utility to the WSB token. And some of the things we've talked about are being able to pay with WSB for NFTs, being able to pay to make upgrades to the NFTs, being able to use WSB in either our sandbox metaverse or the metaverse we're building, and really we're really just working now on adding utility to that WSB past what we have.
Yeah, some of those future utilities will be some things that include like maybe customizing a future NFT, like your own future NFT for Wally, which is our main character, and customizing different attributes for your in-game characters, whether that's in the sandbox or in our own metaverse. Having like shops that you can like buy and sell stuff with WSB also for the metaverse. Those will be some of the other utilities that we have.
Looks like I was muted. Thanks for those answers. The next question I have on my list is, in quotes again, from one of our users, who asked, in my opinion, there are three core issues prevalent in crypto and blockchain: security, interoperability, and scalability. How does WallStreetBets plan to overcome these issues and continue on its growth trajectory?
Yeah, all very important. And to start with security, that was one thing we really looked at seriously before we built the DEX. We could have gone the route of building our own DEX on any chain from scratch, but really you do run the risk with smart contract development, since it is so new, that there could be exploits, and we really wanted things to be secure to start and then build off of that. And so Uniswap V2 is open source and the most battle tested AMM in crypto. So we went with that to start and have been building off that base, that really secure base. So that's the security aspect. Interoperability is really important, and we think it's going to be a multi-chain world to some degree. So we've already been adding chains to the WSB ecosystem. We first started with Polygon and are actually looking to work with more chains to build out more and more and more different chains that we can add into the ecosystem and have be interoperable with our DEX. And then scalability, that really is coming from the new utility that we're building, both with the Metaverse and then, like Streeter mentioned, the dual rewards is with these new partners and new products that we're adding, we'll be able to scale out to more and more users and have more and more liquidity and more use cases.
Another one of our community members asked, can you tell us more about the Wally NFTs, their utilities, and what sets them apart from a very populated NFT market?
Yes, the NFT market is very populated right now, will be more so in the future. The way I see the NFT market is early stages of the internet, where I don't know, in the late 90s, early 2000s, not everybody had a website. If you ran a business, you didn't have to have a website, all of those kind of things, etc., etc. Now, if you start a business in the present day, you pretty much have to have a website. That's kind of how I see the NFT space, even though I don't see it being like that for, maybe 5 to 10 years. But in the future, I think like every business or brand will have their own NFTs to some degree. How much they integrate that into their own business will be dependent on the business. But I really think that it's going to be like the next revolution of internet, essentially. And what sets us apart is we're doing the first unique, one of a kind $1 million treasure hunt that's partially online in the metaverse and finishing in Las Vegas, where the final stage will be a in real life Amazing Race style adventure. Then we crown the winner in Las Vegas and pay them $1 million. That's just like one of our like main things. The other things that we're doing are the sandbox metaverse, our own metaverse, and eventually customizing your own NFTs. I haven't seen too many other projects allow people to purchase unique properties to customize their own NFTs, and that's like one of our goals in the future also.
And chime in on top of that too. We also a lot of NFT projects launch and then try to make a token after. We have a functioning DEX and a token right now that we're interlinking with our Wallies. And then also, just from an artist standpoint, we thought the art was like super important. And we got the artist who did the art for Donkey Kong Country, the Super Nintendo game back in the day, Steve Males, to be the artist to make the art for the project.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I haven't seen them, so I need to go check them out.
Yeah, we'll send you some links.
All right. The next question that I have on my list is, again, from one of our community members. In my opinion, it's really important for a project to have a staking or an earn feature. Can you tell us more about WallStreetBets' earn feature, how it works, and what are the benefits for a customer?
Yeah, really simple and simple process. So users can go on to WallStreetBets.com, the DEX, either on Ethereum or on Polygon, and if they provide liquidity, so they provide the same amount of a certain cryptocurrency and then WSB, and the certain pairs that you can provide liquidity for are listed on each DEX. If you do that, your percentage of the liquidity pool that you provided that's the percentage of weekly rewards that you get. So it's really just providing liquidity on the platform, which helps users trade. That gets you rewards in WSB.
And then
if you go, and also if you see our rates and our APY, they're super high right now. So users have been having a really good time with that.
Yeah, and then adding on top of that, going into something that you had mentioned previously, Max, is that one of our goals for the future is that if you're a liquidity provider on our platform and then you also like purchase one of our NFTs or own one of our NFTs in the future, then you'll get like bonus rewards for staking liquidity on our DEX while also being like an NFT holder. And so that's like a unique thing that I've yet to see another platform do. There's a million NFTs out there, so I'm not saying that somebody hasn't done it. I've just yet to see it done.
And I think you guys have talked about this a little bit, but the next question I have as a follow-up is, will there be other use cases for the WallStreetBets token in the future in addition to staking, governance, and NFTs specifically?
Yeah, that basically we're always trying to add utility and thinking of ways to do it. We're excited about the ones that we've mentioned before in terms of being able to use WSB for commerce in the metaverse, either if it's in the sandbox or in our own metaverse we're building. And also being able to add it for different ways to reward our users for interacting with our DEX. So the ones we're really excited for in the near term, though, are being able to use inner metaverse. And a couple other things to add on to the stuff that we've already mentioned is since it's really a hangout space in our metaverse, being able to do things like paying a certain amount to get certain land in our metaverse, or being able to put certain art in the sandbox or our metaverse by paying a certain amount of WSB, or just doing like one big message to everybody at one time for paying a certain amount, almost like you see on Twitch. Things like that we're really excited about.
Yeah, I think our end goal is to have as many utilities or use cases for WSB as possible, because everyone's not going to use it the same way. So some people might want to use it in the sandbox and might not use it on our own metaverse. Some people might be the opposite and only want to use it in our own metaverse, may never use the sandbox. Some people may never use both. They only use WSB for the DEX. So I think our end goal is basically to have many, many, many different use cases, and that some people you will use it for multiple reasons and some people only use it for one reason. But the end goal is to have as many use cases as possible. And that's something that we're always striving for and always looking for, is like more utilities for WSB in the future. That's like a very, very big goal of ours.
And then looking forward, are there any other potential partnerships that you guys are focused on in the short term or the long term, or collaborations, as you might also want to call it, for WallStreetBets? And how does this partnership, how does Bittrex Global fit into the broader scheme of your partnerships, and what does it mean to your project?
Yeah, we're in works with actually many, many different partnerships. I'll touch on the NFT side and then I'll let Max touch on the DEX and WallStreetBets.com side. So we're in works with many NFT projects to make some sort of partnership deals, whether that's for the dual liquidity providing that I had talked about earlier, where we make partnership deals with NFT projects that have their own native token, and we both provide extra bonus rewards for their native token to be on our platform so that people can have a place to buy or sell their native token on our platform while earning dual rewards. I think that that's like one of the biggest things that we're working on in partnerships. And then we're also working on multiple other partnerships for Metaverse stuff in the future, whether that's like battles in the Metaverse, I think is going to be like a pretty big thing. I've seen it like popping up here or there, where communities will like take their NFTs and go and battle other NFT communities in some sort of like online battle royale. I think that that's also going to be like a really big thing in the future.
Yeah, and to touch on kind of the crypto side, we're in talks with actual chains and the foundations that represent them right now. Like right now, it's a really good time to do partnerships with different chains, as they are really excited for quality projects to build on their chain. And we want to be, like, going back to the interoperable piece, we want to be on multiple chains. And we've received good feedback about working closer with certain chains to really serve their users and get support from those chains. So hoping to have exciting news about that in the coming months as well. Oh, Chris, sorry. And then also, sorry, we didn't touch, Chris, on your one thing about Bittrex Global. Yeah, it's just great to, like, my first altcoin, Monaco, back in the day, I bought on Bittrex. And it's like so cool to see WSB listed on Bittrex now, and just having WSB on another like well-known centralized exchange like Bittrex has already brought Bittrex's great user base, and also kind of gives a sense of like, oh, this is a legit project, because Bittrex has such like a stringent process for doing the partnership and getting listed on there. So that's just been really exciting.
That's awesome. So the first crypto you ever bought was Monaco?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Monaco back in the day. I wish I held it. I mean, it would be for those that don't know, Monaco turned into crypto.com.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That was a long time. That was a long time ago.
Long time ago. I think it's 2016.
Man. All right, so for our final question today, and we are right on schedule. So thank you guys for walking through everything you wanted to, and being really sharp with your answers. I think it's been an amazing session today. And so for everybody listening, what's the best on-ramp for them to find out about Wall Street Bets, to join the project?
Just go into our Telegram channel for Wall Street Bets. That's where most of the activity goes on there. And then on Discord, we're on Wally's NFT. We pretty much have like two very strong communities. They're slightly different because they're about different things, but there's a lot of overlap too. And both of our communities are extremely friendly and extremely helpful. So anybody that's new can come right in and feel right at home. Anyone will answer any of your questions that you like. We have a great admin team on WallStreetBets.com called Peel Team 6, and they're always there to like help anyone they need. They wanted me to give them a shout out, so I had to wait till the last minute to give them a shout out, but they're very, very helpful and extremely friendly.
It's awesome. Well, thanks, Max and Streeter, for your time today. And I think we learned a lot about Wall Street Bets and the WSB token. We are excited for the partnership, and I personally am really excited for the future of Wall Street Bets. And I'm looking forward to seeing the announcements come out over the next 3, 6, 12 months. And for those that want to learn more about Wall Street Bets and get involved in the project, as you just heard, Telegram, Discord, but also go to the website, www.wallstreetbets.com. That's WallStreetBets.com. So thank you again, guys, and have a great day.
All right. Thank you for having us.
Nice chatting.